It's the return of base Manel Kape as he takes on Assu Almabayev this Sunday at 2 a.m. South African time. It's UFC Fight Night 252 preview, and it's up next on Fighting with Friends. Welcome back to Fighting with Friends, the undisputed African fighting podcast, champion of the world. And speaking of champions, ladies and gentlemen, I have with me today the reigning, defending, undisputed vegan champion of the world, and our chief analyst, that is, of course, Brother Gaia.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. How's the
Give
lady?
thanks, PG. All good, bruh. It is UFC Fight Night 252 Cup versus Almabayev. And as always, PG, we start.
At the top of the card.
At the top of the card, we do see the return of base Manel Kape, who is 20-7 on a 6-fight win streak. Last time out, beating Bruno Silva by KO. He's coming up against Assu Almabayev, who is 21-2 on a 17-fight win streak. Last time out, beating Mateus Nicolau by unanimous decision. So yeah, bruh,
Mhm,
this
mhm.
is quite a big fight, seemingly in the flyweight division.
Title
With
eliminator.
title implications, definitely yes, sir, yes, sir. So BG, how's this one gonna play out, bro?
Just before I go into it, can I quickly ask you why do you say base Manel Cup? Where's that come
Based,
from?
based,
Based.
yeah,
What does it
based
mean?
Manal Cup. It's like he says what he wants. It's internet slang,
Oh,
bro.
okay.
You gotta
Okay.
gotta get up with the kids, bro. He's so based.
Oh, I love it. Okay, okay, cool. I'll write that down and put it into my glossary of terms for
Nice.
2025. Um, let's get to the fight. Yes, super excited as you said. Title implications. It's just a matter of time before Manal Cup fights for the title. However, that being said, AD, I do believe that this fight's going to be a massive test for him in the sense that if he loses this fight, I'm not too sure if Manal Cup might make it to that title run. Make it to that title. To be honest with you, he had many chances, and fallen short, he's fallen short against the exact kind of style that Assu Almabayev represents, which is very, very powerful, heavy blanket wrestling. And you said it yourself, 17 fight win streak, and that doesn't you don't take that kind of stuff lightly. You know, we were even about Wei Rui's 20 fight wins, 21 fight win streak in kickboxing. I mean, this is MMA. You know what I mean? There's a little bit more tools to get finished in this sort of discipline in the East than just kickboxing. So you have to pay props to what Aswa Almabayev represents. And like I said, if you look at Manal Cup, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of his style. I think he's a character and a half. I love when he gets on the mic. He's just very explosive. You don't know what you're going to get from him. He knows how to sell a fight. He's a very good promoter, former champion in the Rising, a good, really good striker. I won't say he's got intense grappling. He kind of likes to avoid that, but he's competent enough to defend people when they shoot on him, get back to his feet, work from his jab, very quick from his jab, super explosive. So he has a very quick 1-2 into a kick or the deep show. He throws a high kick. He's just very, very composed in doing that. And I'm a big fan of his style, and I think it's a style that can really challenge the top five of the flyweight division. However, I don't know if you can actually beat them, just because what the top five of the flyweight division really has is a well-rounded skill of boxing. You know, kickboxing. They've got very good wrestling. They can tap you out. The scrambling game of those guys in the top five is just something to witness. And that's where Manal Cup has fallen short previously in the UFC. And that is why I personally feel like, as much as I'm riding his hype train, I personally feel like he might come up short against. There's a good chance he'll come up short against someone like Assu Almabayev. Because Assu Almabayev can strike, powerful, but like yourself and myself, AD, we speak very highly of the Dagestani wrestlers, and that's exactly what he brings to the table. And for that reason, I'm going to go with Assu Almabayev. We don't bet against the Dagestani wrestlers because they put jiu-jitsu practitioners to sleep. And for that, I think he's going to get the job done here. He's probably going to tap out the Nal Cup.
Sheesh, very big call, BG.
You
Yo,
don't believe me?
look, it's very, bruh, again, it's very difficult to bet against the Dagestani wrestling. You do it at your own peril. Um, but yeah, look, I haven't seen too much from Almabayev. I was watching some tape on him earlier.
Yeah.
I watched his last fight against Mateus Nicolau. Um, look,
Yes.
again, I haven't seen too much, but he looks like he's kind of he tries his best not to get hit. That's like a big
Yes.
part of his game. He's very elusive. He's very safe, and he moves around very well. But
Mm.
it doesn't seem like he's the type of fighter who, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here because it doesn't
Mm,
really add up. But the way I saw him fight against Mateus Nicola, it doesn't really look like he was trying to push a pace, and he didn't even really use too much grappling in that fight either. So
mm,
I haven't really seen too much of his grappling. So from
yeah.
that perspective, BG, who do you think is gonna be the one that's gonna be pushing the pace here?
Pretty good question. I personally think that Manel Kape's going to be the one to be on the front foot, just because there's more at stake for him to win the fight. And also, if you watch Manel Kape fight, he's never the fighter that's allowing the opponent to dictate the pace or to push the pressure. He's the pressure fighter. He's the guy that wants to lead the dance. You know what I mean?
See
So
that
that's it.
that's also the bra that I knew before I watched that Mokaev fight. That's my
Yeah.
thing, man. That's because that's exactly the Manal Cup that I know. That guy that pushes the pace is just
Yes.
ready for the dogfight, stands the
Yeah.
pocket, throws and swings to do
Super
real
quick.
damage.
Yeah.
But that fight against Mokaev, bruh, he
Yeah.
was extremely gun shy, bruh, and that's just kind of putting doubt
Mm,
in my mind as to which Manal Cup is going to show up here. We already know there's so much antics going on outside of the ring with him normally, so
yeah.
that's also most likely going to be a factor. So I'm just very curious to see which version of his is going to show up. Is it going to be the vintage Manal Cup that we've
Mm,
come to know and love that entertains the fans, or is it going to be that same Manal Cup that showed up against Mokaev, who was very gun
mm.
shy, very reserved, but did end up really boring the fans to a decision.
Facts.
So yeah, just there in terms of pushing the pace, you think
Yeah.
Manal Cup's going to come out and do his vintage thing? But yeah, I'm very interested to see that part of it. But
You see,
BG, yeah,
yeah. No, the
no, no,
thing
no, you
was
go.
the thing that you were describing is a very key factor to point out because it did leave a little bit of a bad taste in the fans, the fans' mouth and his support base. But I think one thing we have to also highlight in context of that fight, I think we feel that way because of the build up to the event and the build up outside of the organization between those two athletes. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Mokaev cut from the UFC?
Yeah,
So one thing that I have to speak about in that fight, I was actually hyping up Mokaev going into that fight because I was a fan of his style and I think he's a very good wrestler, powerful wrestler. And if you watch Mokaev's fights in the UFC before fighting Manal Cup, he out wrestled everybody, took everyone down, smashed him quite easily. Um, and I think that kind of made Manal Cup think twice about how to enter that fight, just because again I'm going to repeat this a lot of times when we talk about this athlete. Manal Cup doesn't like fighting wrestlers, and we've seen fight wrestlers in the past when he fought Pantoja, he didn't throw anything. He was very scared to throw stuff because he didn't want to get taken down. Pantoja took him down anyway. So
mm,
I think, and that's not making an excuse to Manal Cup. I just think a lot of athletes that are predominantly fantastic strikers do sort of strike very differently when they go up against someone that they know has a very, very high pedigree in grappling. So you kind of want to
yeah,
you almost pull your punches to a point because you don't want to get taken down. And I feel like that's what we saw in Manal Cup because when he fought Bruno Silva again, there was no threat of being taken down. And then Manal Cup
mm,
looked like an absolute dog in that fight because now he's not getting taken down. Now you get to see him do his thing. You know what I'm saying? So I think we might just see that kind of Manal Cup in this fight as well. Against That's why I'm going with Assu. It's because of that reason. He does tend to freeze up when he fights wrestlers. And Assu
mm,
might not be the kind of guy that is going to push the pace aggressively, but he's like an Evloev. They're very sound in how to fight someone with utilizing the rule set towards T, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like they know how to play
mm,
the game. They know how to win rounds without having to. And it does make for boring fights. I'm not gonna lie. It does like, come on, you can do a bit more than that. Wet blanketing him. But at the end of the day, he's getting the win. Does it make him get does it make him get the priority from Dana White? Probably not. But it's gonna make him win. You know what I mean? He's gonna stay in that ranking because he's keep winning. And I think that's gonna be the case. I want to see him tap out Manal Cup if he wins. I think he's going to win, but I don't know if he's going to get that right. I think he's probably just going to win by decision, by maybe grappling a bit more in each of the rounds. If Manal's able to defend not defend, to reverse the takedowns, we might see a more entertaining fight. But I got a feeling that we're going to see 5 rounds of Assu Almabayev just navigate those rounds in a very sound way of being defensive, being offensive, and he's going to win it that way.
fair play, BG. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the comments your thoughts on this one, who gets it done and how. BG, any final thoughts on this one before we go to the middleweights?
Um, I think it's going to be a hype fight. I think it's going to be a very hyped fight. I'm not sure if the props are if the betting odds are out for that fight, but I'm keen to know who's the underdog and who isn't. But I'm excited nonetheless. Really excited to see because Manal Kape always puts on exciting fights. Obviously, bar that Makayev one.
Yeah, that was hopefully an anomaly. Just before I go to the odds, BG, I know you did say Almabayev was going to win, but if you were to guess the opening odds, what odds would you put on Almabayev to win? So like 1.5, 2,
Yeah, I would say
yeah,
like one. Probably, I would make him the favorite. Maybe 1.6 to 1.4 minus 1.44. It'll be very close. I don't think anyone's overwhelmingly better than the other one. And I think I'm not mistaken. I don't know what the odds look like, but I think Assu Almabayev is the
they're on
favorite.
screen right now.
Oh my word, he's actually not the favorite.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
so
okay?
so keep a lookout for the parlay show tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. It's bound to be a good one. I see the props are out also.
And the
That's
props
pretty
are
interesting. Yeah.
insane.
Um,
Okay,
but
okay.
but all right then, ladies and gentlemen. Once again,
Yeah,
keep an eye out for the parlay show. It looks like it's gonna be a good one, so you
yeah.
might want to stick around for that one. But okay, BG, then we will go
Yes,
to
sir.
the middleweights, and here we see Cody Brundage taking on Julian Marquez. Cody Brundage is 10-6-0, last fight winning against Zach Reese by KO. Julian Marquez 9-5, also beating Zach Reese by KO in his last fight. So, who is the Zach Reese guy, and is he okay? But anyway, let us know in the comments there, ladies and gentlemen. PG, what's
Yeah.
gonna what's gonna happen here, bro? Is
um. Yeah.
is Drickus on notice from any of these guys, or what do you
Mm.
think?
No, 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 no. I don't foresee any. I like the way John Anik has put this fight, and he put it in a very nice way, but also in a way that makes us realize what's at stake for these athletes. Because both these fighters are one loss away from being cut from the promotion. It's exactly what he
Jeez.
said for Batum, and I fully agree with him in saying that because I watched Cody Brundage now over the course of last say year and a half, and he's been that kind of fighter where the UFC wants to invest in him, but he's not giving him that much confidence in doing so. Because when the stage is set for him, he might get a knockout here, and he goes on a two-fight losing streak, and he maybe gets a submission a bit later, and then hypes the crowd out, and he maybe gets another knockout that looks fantastic, but then he gets submitted again two times after that. So it's like you're not making it easy for UFC to want to invest in you. You're making it a bit difficult. So now he's at the position where he needs this win desperately to stay in the organization. And the same can be said for Julian Marquez, another guy that has been sort of up and down in the UFC and has been struggling to sort of make a statement to stay in the organization. I'm not too familiar with their age. I think Brundage is still young. I think Julian Marquez is a little older. But at this point, both these guys need this win, which then that would tell me that this fight makes that implications make sense for the fight to have explosions because now then both need to go and make a statement. Cody Brundage, 30 years old, good boxer, but he came into the UFC with the name or the label of being a wrestler. I don't really see it, to be honest with you. Julian Marquez, um, whenever I did see him fight, he looked like he was uncomfortable in the cage. I couldn't get behind the lad. I think he's a submission kind of guy. So I'm also confused of whether he was a knockout specialist or a grappler. Apparently, he's a submission guy as well. I know he's last three fights have been Indian knockouts, but his last win, if I'm not mistaken, came in a KO. But before it was a submission as well. So he's a bit more of a grappling kind of guy. So this fight could either be where they both push for a knockout, and one of them gets it, and one guy stays, one guy goes out of the organization, or it's a bit of a slow burn wrestling. Both guys get tired after round two, and we go to decision. I hope that's not the case. I hope that they go out there and they just
They
swing for
both
the
get cut.
fences. Oh, then they both get cut exactly, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm gonna go with my guy Cody Brundage just because his fight is a little bit more recent than Julian's one against Reese, and he should be riding that kind of high. Both of them coming off knockouts, so they both should be riding the same kind of high. But Cody Brundage is a bit more of a durable fighter between the two of them, and for that reason, I'm gonna go with Cody Brundage to outdog Julian Marquez over the course of 3 rounds.
Yeah, look, I don't know too much about Julian Marquez. I haven't seen him, so I'm also inclined to go with Brandage here, but that's completely uneducated guess. So don't bet on that one, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't.
But of course, educate me in the comments with your thoughts regarding Cody Brundage and Julian Marquez. PG, any
Mm.
final thoughts on this one, sir?
I just hope deeply that these two fighters go out there and put on a show for the fans because you are the co-main event. So there are expectations for that slot on the paper card, on the fight card, paper card.
Yeah, yeah. All right, then we'll keep it moving and we'll go to the lightweight division. And you'll be seeing Nasrat Haqparast coming
Yep,
up
yep.
against Esteban Ribovic. Haqparast is 17-5-0. Last time
Mm-hmm.
beating Jared Gordon by split decision in his last fight. He, of course, is on a 4-fight win streak coming
Mm-hmm.
up against Esteban Ribovic, who is 14-1. 3 fight streak. Last time out beating Daniel Zalhuber by split decision in his last fight. That was, of course, a barn burner at UFC
Mm-hmm.
Noche. So BG, I'm gonna go with Ribovic here, purely
Yeah.
based on his performance at UFC Noche. I thought he really put on quite a great show there, hung tough,
Mm.
showed that he was
Yeah.
extremely game. Unfortunately, the other side, I don't know too much about Haqparast.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you could educate me and the people
Yeah.
about that guy and also tell us how you see this one playing out, please.
No problem. So we actually watched that fight together live. I'm not sure if you remember Nasrat Akparas. I was teasing you guys because he fought in the same card with Calvin Gastelum. So I was like, yo, don't they look exactly the same? You were like, yes, they do look exactly the same. Anyway, Nasrat
Oh,
Akparas was dancing between two divisions, welterweight, lightweight, and he eventually found the lightweight division for himself. And really good boxer, southpaw fighter, very good boxer. I like his style, competent in his combinations. Doesn't kick enough, doesn't wrestle enough, but he does have good defensive wrestling, but doesn't have really good offensive wrestling. But he loves to stay in the pocket and just box with people. He's just slicker to win that, and that's going to make for a fantastic fight against Esteban Ribovics, who, like you mentioned, put on probably one of the fight of the night, one of the fights of the year last year against Daniel Salhuba at UFC Noche. I think it's going to be a straight up boxing fight between these guys. I don't think either one's going to wrestle, even though I think Rubovic has got very good scrambling, he's got good wrestling defense, and he can wrestle. I do think he likes to likes to strike because I think he's got good power. I think he's a bit stronger in terms of his power punching compared to Nasrat. I think Nasrat's a little bit cleaner in the way he moves. But like Rickers has proven, you don't have to be completely textbook to actually hit really hard. You must just, make it a dog fight. And I think this is going to be exactly that. I personally would have loved to have made this fight the main co-main event, just because these two guys are on win streaks. They both are fan favorites. More
mm,
Esteban Ribovics, but Nasrat Akbaras has been around the block and he's been putting on some fantastic fights. And just because if you know Nasrat and you know his style, you definitely know that this fight's going to be the ones that fans are most looking forward to on this card. Maybe even more than the main event, to be honest with you. Just
sheesh.
purely because of Esteban Ribovics. He's just become one of the most spoken about or talked about athletes after that Noche fight. So, who I think is going to win? I think Nasrat's the better boxer, but I think Esteban has got more durability and I think he has more power. And for that reason, I'm going to go with Esteban Rubovics, even though I like Nasrat. I really do like his style. But Rubovics is a dog and he's proven taking on someone with the UFC and basically the whole entire MMA community in Mexico has put a lot of stock in Daniel Zalhubo to be the next star after Brandon Moreno. But Esteban Ribovics went in there and took it away from him and said, I'm the star. I'm the guy that's going to steal the show. And he did exactly that. And I think after putting on that performance, you can't bet against Ribovics now. You know what I mean? Like, come on, he
Mm,
put on a performance big enough to make us realize that this guy is here to stay. And I think he's going to get the job done. I don't know if he's going to knock out Nazrat. I do think he's going to piece him up over 3 rounds.
fair play, BG. So yeah, like I said, I don't know too much about these guys, but what I can show you, ladies and gentlemen, are the odds that we opening up at here. So as we can see, Ribovics is the overwhelming favorite in this one.
There you go.
PG, do you think that's a fair line in terms of betting?
I think that's to suck us in to make that bet. But I would have gone a little bit closer than that. Maybe 2-1 instead of just going something so massive. 3-1
Yeah.
is just a bit too big for me.
Yeah, that is an extremely wide line. So yeah, maybe the bookies know something I don't for sure because, like I said, I don't know too much about Haqparast. But yeah, we'll get into that in the parlay show tomorrow. So
Yeah,
once again, ladies
yeah.
and gentlemen, keep a lookout for that one. But PG, any final
Yes, sir.
thoughts here, bro, before we keep it moving to the featherweight division?
Um, yeah, I think the betting odds is making me think other stuff here at the moment because I can kind of see it's a bit of a trap, to be honest with you, man. Uh, yeah, it's a bit of a trap. I think Ribovics is gonna get it done. So I'm not gonna. I'll save more of my thoughts when we do the parlay. Think about that
Fair play.
overnight.
Fair play, BG. All right, then we'll keep moving to the featherweight division now, and here we
Mm-hmm.
see Haida Amil, who is 10-0, undefeated, last time out
Ooh.
beating Lee by KO. He's coming up against the French kickboxer William Gomis, who is 14-2, last time out beating Brito by split decision. He also is on a 4-fight win streak, so two natural-born winners, it would seem here, BG. I
Mm.
see you giving a big thumbs down there for William Gomis. You don't like him for this one?
I don't. I'm pulling him down for the last result against Joy Anderson Brito. I thought he lost that fight
Yeah,
against Brito,
yeah,
but
same.
we're here now, and let's see. I just think his character for me for William Gomez. I'm not feeling it yet. At the moment he's giving me this. What's the word? I don't want to sound too much of an asshole when I'm saying it, but like his character is a bit cowardly, for lack of a better term. You know, he puts on a persona of being this kind of dog kind of guy, but he doesn't go out there and put on dog like kind of performances. You know what I
Mm,
mean? When I've seen him act very strange in the octagon sometimes. But anyway, Haida Amal, I don't know much about him, but I did a little bit of research about the guy once I saw that it was 10-0. It's like, okay, I need to see who this guy is. He beat 10-0 in the UFC. And as soon as I saw Philippines, I was like, okay, he's a knockout artist. He has to be a knockout artist. They're known for knocking people out in the Philippines. So, and if you look at his striking, his significant strike differential is 6.31 per minute. So he's obviously trying to land on you quite often. However, the one thing that I will give William Gomi props for is that he's probably one of the best fighters that I've ever seen that's able to make fighters fight at his pace. And I'm not talking about wrestling with him and dictating that kind of pace in the way that he footwalks, the way that the way he moves around the octagon. He's forcing you to fight at that pace, which is like one or two strikes at a time, but like very, very precise strikes. It lands where he wants it to land. And he's very elusive. It's hard to hit. He's been very difficult for athletes to hit. And that's the only thing I'm worried about Haider for this fight is that he might end up being hypnotized by the movement of Willie Gomi and then he will get caught with something very that you won't even see coming. So we might see Hyder come in there, peekaboo stance, close the distance, throw some hard hooks, and that's when William will just sidestep, throw a nice straight, and then drop him. Something like that could happen. And I feel like that,
mm,
that actually might be how the fight turns out because as much as I'm not a big fan of William Gomez, in reality, though, I have to be honest about it. His style is tricky. He's a very, very slick striker. And he's hard to touch, hard to get hit.
mm.
And I just feel that Hamda's style is gonna put him in a position where he's gonna get counted and he's probably gonna get dropped or get knocked out. Maybe round one or round two. But that being said, Gomez is a slow fighter. He's not a high pace kind of guy. He's not gonna overwhelm you with a lot of strikes unless he knows that your eyes are floating and you're rocked and you're seeing stars and stuff. Then he's gonna obviously unload as much as he can. But while the fight's still competitive, you're gonna see him fight in a pace that's gonna slow his opponent down dramatically. And that's why people boo him a lot. Boo Gomez a lot because of that style. It's a slow burn kind of fight, and he's a striker,
Yeah,
So it's like, come on, man. But I think he's
yeah,
gonna win.
yeah. I mean, the bookies tend to agree with you. William Gomes starting here as the 1.5 favorite. Haida Miller
He's
at
the favorite.
2.65. Yeah.
Mm, look at that.
So yeah, lots to
Look
consider
at that.
there. But yeah, okay. Like I said, I don't know too much about Aidan Mill. It's
Mm,
strange because we have quite a few. I think that's the second undefeated guy on the card here. Oh yeah, Mario Pinto is one
really?
and 0.
Who's the other guy?
We have Austin Lane and Mario Pinto,
Uh huh. Oh, he's
um,
undefeated.
but he's only 1 and 0. So
Mm.
technically undefeated, but not like anything to write home about. But anyway, BG, any final
Yes,
thoughts here on William Gomez versus Haida Amal?
pardon me. Final thoughts. We either may see a knockout from Hyder, or we may just see William Gomez skate his way to a decision, like almost flawlessly. He's not really gets touched or anything like that. That's going to be the two results. one of those two results.
Fair comment, PG. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the comments about that one, who you got and why, and then we'll keep it moving to the heavies. And here we do see Austin Lane coming up against Mario Pinto. Austin
Mm.
Lane is 13-5, last time out being Des Payne by unanimous decision. Coming up against Mario Pinto, well, like I said, is 1-0. So
Yeah.
not really too much data on him at the moment. So we're gonna see a knockout here, BG.
Yeah,
Or
and
how's
we can keep it short in this one, because just as much as we have stats about Mario Pinto, we'll keep it as short as that. And I think it's just gonna get the knockout 80. 93% striking accuracy, 8.16 significant strikes landed per minute, and he's predominantly a striker. That must tell you this guy just wants to lay hands on you. And Austin Lane has been, since he's been in the UFC, he's just been losing. He's just been getting knocked out. He's just been pieced up. And a lot of pundits are saying, like, what is Austin Lane's buzz? Like, are you a wrestler? Are you a striker? Like, what is it that you're trying to do? What are you trying to build? And I personally feel like he loses this fight. He's also cut from the UFC, and I'll end it right over there. Charge
Mhm.
Ross out.
Mic drop? Boom. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know in the comments. Just one more thing on this fight. Austin Lane is the biggest dog on the card. So there you go.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What's the prop say? Because it's not on the UFC website. The odds.
Oh, he's 4.7. Just to confirm there.
The only way he wins this fight 80 is if he wet blankets this dude for 3 rounds.
I'm personally not going to be betting on that, but ladies and
Me
gentlemen, if you
neither.
are braver than I am, I'd love to hear about it. But okay, BG, then we will wrap it up.
Yes,
Give
sir.
me your final thoughts on the card and maybe even a pre-fight rating.
Uh, just based on the athletes on the fight card, I don't know. Hey, we might just be in for a long, long night. We might have a 6 hour live stream here. So pre-fight, I'm gonna start it off at the standard 5, like they do on FIFA, and
Mm.
it's up to the card to make it go up or down from there.
Fair play. Yo, look, I'm gonna because I really don't know anyone on the card, bruh. So I'm gonna actually give it a reluctant 4. Just because I don't know too many fighters on the card, but that might be more down to me than the card itself. So
Just
I'm
say
gonna
3,
start at a
man.
4, but I am absolutely hoping for something close to an 8 or 9 by the end of it. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Facts.
But ladies and gentlemen, if you have made it this far in the video, as always, please like our video, please subscribe to the channel, and please share the video with your friends. Let them know Fighting with Friends sent you. But as always, thank you very much for the love and support. And if you can't say nothing nice, Futek!